Hey guys, it's your boy DJ Xcanor bringing you guys another review for the Assassin's Creed series. Today we're going to review the infamous Assassin's Creed Unity. Now this game has a lot of mixed reviews. The biggest problem with this game were the bugs. Ubisoft was rushing to release a game every year. I'm going to be honest, Unity was a good idea. It had a nice time period, nice idea for weapon customization, outfit customization, and here we get the first attempt of a point system. The more popular abilities like air assassinations and double assassinations are locked behind this point system. Also, you can reduce the damage you take from enemies, increase effectiveness of items like medicine, the berserker darts, and the phantom blade. In this game, we get new style and range items like the Phantom Blade, which is like a dart launcher coming from Arna's wrist, similar to the blow dart from Black Flag. The graphics and the scope of the game were amazing. You can tell the level of detail went into the game. The massive crowds are really detailed and each character has an animation, making each character feel unique in this massive Paris it takes. Also, crowd events are like mini games that help you unlock new gear. Before we dive into the game, we have to acknowledge that this marks the beginning of the end for the series, in my opinion. Now, new thing. Returning players will find combat much more challenging. You can no longer do counter kills or kill streaks, so every enemy has to be taken down with legitimate attacks. Controls have changed, so be sure to familiarize yourself with the controls in the tutorial sequences. The Phantom Blade was a nice addition to the game because in Black Flag we had the blow darts, which was helpful for stealth. Unity's more self-oriented this time around with the leveling system. The missions had a rating system. The harder it is, more guards and higher health. So if you were good at stealth and infiltrating, the missions shouldn't be too hard. But if you rush in there and do open conflict, you will have a harder time fighting the enemies. The main sequences didn't give you money, so the game kind of forced you to play the Paris missions, which were the side missions for the game. They were pretty simple, like killing a target, stealing item, or solving mysteries. Co-op. Unity became the first cooperative game with its co-op missions. These missions provided special rewards and money for the players. This was a huge innovation for the series, giving players a chance to play with their fellow assassin buddies. This system was also really buggy and not a good time for people in general. This led to Ubisoft releasing all the DLC for free. Paris missions. There are 50 Paris missions in the game. These are like the little side missions from NPCs throughout Paris. These missions reward you with good amounts of money. The real money grind comes from these missions, so if you are low in cash, this is where to get some. In this game, you can't kill streak or easily counter anymore. Combat has become more refined and slower. Now we have reached perfect parrying like in other RPG games like Dark Souls or Sekiro. Also, your gear plays an important role in the fights, with each weapon having traits like speed, parry, and damage. Here we get one of the biggest collections of weapons. We have single arm, long arm, heavy, rifles, pistols, and guillotine guns, which were like trench guns with blades. Really weird concept. They removed the human shield ability, which is kind of annoying as it was pretty useful in the other games. They introduced the roll ability to dodge bullets. Enemies block more and can counter you better. I recommend if you are taking on a huge group of enemies, start with a smoke screen, assassinate as many enemies before open conflict starts. My only problem was that sometimes Arno wouldn't attack in open conflict. It would just bug out. He would just stare at the opponent and have to leave open conflict and then start fighting again. Now, for the Cafe Theater. The Cafe Theater was the hideout in the game, but it was lacking anything serious. It had a basic income generation, didn't really provide much. You had to renovate it a lot to get more. You can open other cafes throughout the map to increase your revenue, but you need to invest and renovate them, which may cost 500 to 5,000 livres. It had some nice bonus missions to give you like more money and unlock more innovations. These can get pretty expensive at the 4th innovation, costing 5,000. It's nice that they added a training room, which is like the tutorials for almost every move in the game. They added a social club, which is like your online guild for your friends to join when you play co-op. In the legacy room, you can find all the assassin outfits like Edward, Connor, Ezio, Altair, and the others. Parkour this time around. They added the climb up or down ability. Instead of having to drop down or just jump down, Arno can climb down or climb up pretty easily. The animations were pretty well done, with each jump or climb looking realistic, like every motion had weight to it. When Arno would far jump or land from high jumps, you can see him stagger and struggle with his footing. We would see the assassins almost appear superhuman in abilities. But here we have Arno being realistic with the human limits. Also, climbing between two buildings was faster than climbing up the building. Now onto the story. The game had a really good opportunity to be amazing with its setting being in the French Revolution, but the execution fell short. You had a lot of things going on in this game. Arno's father was an assassin, but he was assassinated by Shay Cormac, who was the main character from Rogue. He was then raised by Grand Templar Master de la Serre, but he was also assassinated. Arno ends up being framed for the assassination for the Grand Templar Master, and he's imprisoned in the Bastille, which is a famous French prison. Here he meets his friend's dad and master assassin, Alec. Alec goes on to train Arno for months in a plan and escape. Then eventually he joins the Brotherhood. But what really pissed me off is that Arno joined the Creed for his personal vendetta and didn't know what he was fighting for. He was also doing whatever Elise wanted him to do, which was getting revenge for their father, who was Master de la Serre. Arno the assassin being in love with Elise the Templar, it was a classic Romeo and Juliet story, was not gonna work out, but they tried. Arno was the definition of being simp with Elise. He was exiled from Brotherhood for his actions and betrayals. From there, the game kinda seems rushed and goes downhill. And then there were some like pretty basic love interaction moments, and it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. You don't know what happens to Arno. Overall, the game alone was good, had a lot of potential with its concept, but the execution was a little sloppy. If you're a brand new player to Assassin's Creed series, this game feels good. But if you're a die-hard fan, you feel the game really different. They had a lot of great ideas, like the ability for customization being so massive, but sometimes your gear would look funny with the mismatching sets, even though you had good stats. That's what you would do in any RPG game. You had to sacrifice good looks for gear quality. In the grander scheme of the series, they made Arno look a little pathetic because he was blinded by love for Elise. He pretty much wasn't ever a real assassin. He never appreciated or recognized their creed. I would rate this a 6 out of 10, a weaker installment. Don't buy this at full price, wait for a sale. As always guys, please like and subscribe. Up next, I'll be covering Execution Remastered, so be sure to stay tuned in.